Welcome to the Scoop with Coop. I'm Coop. My guest today is Mallory Dawson. Mallory, welcome to the show. First of all, to all our fans, sorry it's taken us so long. There's been a lot of things going on here at North Campus, so we've been a little bit busy, but we haven't forgotten you, so thank you for being loyal to us. Mrs. Dawson, of course, with every episode, we have to start with asking ice cream. What is your go-to? What is your favorite flavor?
So I have two favorite flavors. I have cookie dough and cookies and cream. There is a mixed version of that.
Ooh, so is that like the best?
Yes,
is that
so
like your dream?
I think that's the best.
Okay.
There's a Bluebell version called Cookie Two-Step, and it's essentially cookies and cream ice cream with cookie dough pieces in it.
Now, is there a time where you choose one over the other? Like rainy day like it is today, this flavor?
I feel like we have to get into brands. At that point, we have to start talking like, am I getting Ben & Jerry's? Or if it's like cheap ice cream, then like cookies and cream is pretty much always a safe bet. It's just going to taste like Oreos.
Right. Uh-huh.
So, and then sometimes if you get like Breyer's cookie dough, it's like kind of mid. So you really want to go for like your fancier brands, you're leaning towards cookie dough. Mm-hmm. And then your cheaper brands, you're leaning towards.
Okay, no, that makes sense. I like that. I feel like people are very loyal to their brands, and so, but I like how you change depending on what's available, what you got.
What's buy one get one free at Publix?
Yes, the deals.
What's cheap?
Yes.
Yeah. So one of my first memories of being married to Steven, where our first few weeks of marriage, we went grocery shopping for the first time. Like after,
big deal.
Yeah, you went on your honeymoon, but now you're like grocery shopping for your life. And he goes to the ice cream section and he gets a tub of chocolate ice cream, but not a small one, like the proper,
big,
whatever those are, whatever weight that is. And he goes, I got mine. What kind are you going to get? And I was like, I didn't know that people could get more than one. Like, I just thought your family gets one and there's the one flavor. So you have to have a decision to decide. And he was like, no, I'm getting chocolate.
All right. Okay.
Whatever you want. And I was like, wow, it's a whole new world.
Well, so then, so tell me, so this gets me curious. So your experience grocery shopping, are you I have the list and we have the budget, and I go by that, or it's the aisles speak to me, and whatever you're walking down.
I like to do aisles speak to me, but I come out with like a radish and three weird things and no clear ability to make food, and we're all just hungry and cranky for a week. So generally, I am like, I meal plan, I type out the list, which is leading me also to maybe what would be an interesting, a topic I can float to you, which is that when I was in college, I lived on $25 a week. And so that's when I started budgeting for groceries. And I still know every item that I bought and what it cost.
My goodness, that's
so
impressive.
So that I could survive.
All right, so tell, for the fans here, how does one go off of such a short budget there? Yeah,
so this was 2012 to 2014. So inflation means this is probably more like $35 now. But I would get a dozen eggs, and I would have 2 every morning before my 8 a.m. class.
All right.
And then I would sleep in on Sunday because I couldn't afford breakfast on Sunday. But then if you sleep in, then you go straight to church, and sometimes there's like donuts by the coffee thing.
That's where you get the freebies.
That's right. So that's breakfast sorted. And then I would get every other week I would save up and get a giant batch of chicken thighs, like just the largest amount that you could get, and I would freeze them in individual baggies. Okay. So I'd end up with about 5 chicken thighs per week that could either be lunch or dinner on weekdays.
Nice.
And then the other meals were basically like rice and beans and veggies.
Right.
So a lot of root veggies like carrots.
Now, how quick did you get kind of bored or tired of this? Or how are there ways to spice it up, literally? So
it helps if you're hungry.
Yes.
Like you're less bored when you're just really hungry.
I just need food.
For the food that you can afford. But then I have a friend from Sri Lanka, and she taught me how to spice food and make it taste really differently. So like sometimes the chicken thighs just tasted like, salt, pepper, olive oil, but sometimes they tasted like a curry spice or like an Italian, kind of seasoning. And so learning how to blend spices and then saving up and buying spices or asking for spices for my birthday.
There you go.
Became a way to differentiate flavors. But definitely the 2 eggs in the morning and an omelet was like an institution. And my roommate and I, we both lived on $25 a week. So it really was like $50 for 2 people. And we would eat our omelet together every morning. And we would sometimes save up and buy what are they called? Sun-dried tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
And we would put one sun-dried tomato in the omelet. And then we would be like, called it the prize. And be like, the bite that had that.
The best bite here.
The bite that, we were like, that was the prize. And then we would just like, if we got weird food for different reasons, we would see if it would go in omelets. Because we were just trying to change the flavor.
Right.
So like shredding carrots, that was not our best move.
I was gonna say
the worst move by
that.
far was putting roasted peanuts in it. We were just desperate at that point.
Yeah.
So that was a bad idea. But, it changed up. And
So then today, if and when you make an omelet, does it take you back to the good old days, or you're like, oh gosh, I can't believe I'm going back to this?
Yeah, I love making an omelet. And I remember sitting there and being so thankful and grateful and being like, we were like, I got the prize. And I don't know. Beautiful. We were so broke, but it was great.
So then, after living off that, and then today, what's the one food item you're like, finally, I can afford this. This is I know I'm a real adult now, kind of thing.
I remember when I started buying fresh raspberries with abandon, and and
produce is people. That's underrated. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's $3 or $4 sometimes for that little thing of raspberries, and I would get it home and be like, we have to eat it slowly, and we have to
enjoy every bite.
Yeah, and then Imogen was like 1 or 2. She's just fisting raspberries, and I was like, what? So
the young, they don't understand.
Yeah, well, just I was such extravagance in one so young, right? Yeah. So, so definitely, I think anytime I buy raspberries and I can just buy them, I'm rich.
That's the win.
Yeah.
That's the go-to. Well, moving to a different topic, I am honored and excited that you're here because being on a podcast is a bucket list item for you.
It is.
And so, first of all, glad to help you check that one off.
It's a big day for me. Thank you.
That's amazing. What are other bucket list items that are still have not been checked off? What are the things left that we have to figure out we have to do here? Maybe the subscribers can help you out someday and figure that out.
That's a really good question. I love to travel, so really, really want to spend more time in Europe. I don't know if you guys can help me with that, but if you have a way to help me with that, that would be great. So I'm open to that. I'm trying to think of other small bucket list items that I've always wanted to do.
See, I haven't really thought much of a bucket list thing. So when you brought this up to me, I was like, I need to start thinking of this. I need things.
I love talking, and I love when people ask me questions because I just like to feel so important. Right. And so I've had.
Don't worry, you are.
Thank you. Yeah, I've had several friends start podcasts and stuff, and I've been I don't want to go through the work.
Right. You just want to be a guest.
No, I just want to be invited, and then I want to talk.
Yeah, I get it.
So this is an ongoing bucket list item. So every time it happens.
So really, while we're checking this off, this could be continuously checked off.
Yeah, this isn't the end.
Yes.
This is potentially launching my podcast guest career.
Now, would you ever have people set things up for you me?
Yeah.
I'm the host.
Yes.
But I got my crew over here that's right now watching us. Would you ever want them, as long as they're doing the work, you could be up here talking to people?
I think it'd be great. I've even floated, maybe one day we can have a podcasting elective where we teach them,
Remember you talking to me about this?
The art of interviewing, the art of how to hold a conversation, also, learning technology, learning how to navigate these things well. Right. Marketing and promotion, and then also be really cool if Heritage had a podcast.
That's the dream.
That would be really cool. So we could talk about what's distinctive about our school. We could have kids come on here and talk about different things we've done. Classical education, I think a lot of people, when they get into classical education, the first resources they turn to are things like podcasts and articles to try to get their head around okay, I know intellectually what this movement is, but what does it look like for someone to actually be a part of it day to day? Right.
It's easy. Yeah. It's digestible. It's easy to follow, and there's someone having a conversation like us here. So then it's it's not just this big idea that people are trying to understand. Yeah. It's practical. There's
and it's so encouraging. I mean, when I have listened to podcasts of other teachers talking about how they do something or problems they run into, often it's the same problems I have, and so it's interesting and kind of okay, we're all doing the same thing. Right. So, yeah.
One last topic. I hear that you're amazing at directing musicals.
Oh, thank you.
Saw Seussical was amazed, blown away.
It was a fun time.
Now, because I know some people here were actors and actresses tell me, what in Seussical is your favorite scene? Regardless of what we did, what is to you this is my favorite scene every single time?
I don't know. I mean, there's rather than scenes, there's little moments.
Sure, yeah.
So when Steve had the boom up really high for that camcorder, that really did it for me. And the fact
I love that killed me. I love that so much.
So I love little bits, like little moments.
Yes.
Amelia Kate being the elephant bird
Yes.
and coming out and being like tweet tweet and like that every time I was like nailed it. And then I love my teacher cameos. So like we always invite a teacher to participate, and I tell the teachers. So this year it was Mr. Zuber, and he was an incredible hunter, and then bow of the ship. And you know, I tell them, I'm like, the stakes here are the same as like a 5-year-old on stage. When a teacher goes on stage, everyone's gonna love whatever you do.
Exactly.
Like you just go out there and exist, and it's a win for me. So every time I know that that's gonna happen, I'm like, we're gonna nail it.
Yeah.
No risk involved.
Love that. Love that.
So, I love little quick moments where students find ways to be funny or clever or adapt or just like those little moments.
Now we were at the first show, so that was my wife and I.
Oh, yes.
And my wife was all in theater, so I was the sports guy. My wife's the theater girl, and so she was so impressed because on Friday
there was
the power went out, and so but she was so impressed was everyone was like able to just jump right back into it and go, because that is so tough to do. So for you, I'm curious, was there a moment either show that like in your mind you're like, oh no, but like no one else in the audience really knows that you were like, that was a big stressful moment for you behind the scenes of what was going on? So like there's ones that people usually follow. What's one that's like,
not the power going out, but like another moment. I occasionally just decide that there are certain hills I'm going to die on. So like there's certain things that I want to happen, and like it's going to happen. And so like I had this desire for, in the underwater scene, it's possible for there to be like this bubble machine. And so the bubble machine was actually really finicky to deal with, because if you move a bubble machine, it'll stop throwing bubbles. So I had to get like a bubble gun, and then it loads in a specific way that's different than
this is getting elaborate.
So, but I was like, I'm not giving up. So I spent like a lot of money. I'm like charging it back there. I'm like, we're gonna do this thing. Lottie is amazing. She did the bubble machine, but it just kept like being a bunch of things about it that were weird. And so like on the second day we nailed it, but it involved me being like, for 15 minutes of this production, all I'm thinking about is a bubble machine, which feels like kind of low stakes. But like for me, I was like, I want the dramatic effect. And so we nailed it both times, but both times I was like on the comms going like, do you have the bubbles? Do you have the, like, I was like, we will not. Like, so occasionally there's certain things that I'm like, I've decided that this is the thing to care about.
No, I get it. Absolutely.
I don't know, but bubbles was it for me.
Bubbles and all, it was wonderful. And I know everyone is super excited to see whatever you're probably already planning for next year or so.
I got about a 14-month timeline planning show. So I started in about January, February.
Goodness, that's impressive. Well, thank you for coming on to the Scoop with Coop today. My followers, don't forget, like and subscribe. We'll see y'all later.
Thank you.